Geek Out! Hey, welcome to Learning Someone Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm sure.
And this week it's just us. And you know why? Because we're all shell-shocked. We all saw a film.
I forgot we saw this till you mentioned it to me today, actually. I seriously did.
Same.
You guys have merciful memories. Because I do not. We all saw a little film that we were kind of stoked for. Yeah. Kind of.
I would even say more than stoked.
I was definitely interested in seeing the movie.
Yes. We all saw The Founder, starring Michael Keaton, directed by John Lee Hancock.
Yeah, it sucked balls. Although I feel like once again it affected Sam more than Chris and I.
Yeah.
More than Chris and I.
Yeah. I could agree with that.
Yeah.
But though we all think it was terrible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Here's the thing, though. Here's the best way that I can sum up this film. I think we've all, if you've listened to us at all, like we all kind of talk about our etiquette in the movie theater, how we are. I like to be fucking silent, and this movie.
I usually am too.
This movie had all of us. It had me finally break down at one point where Michael Keaton, in an extended scene of nothingness.
It's an extended movie of nothingness.
Yeah, but a scene that truly is, I would say, one of the most batshit crazy scenes in the movie. And it's not because something crazy happens. It just keeps going and it's just sing along.
I don't know if you guys at home are going to care. We're going to spoil the shit out of The Founder.
Yeah, chances are you've had McDonald's. And
by the way, McDonald's becomes a huge corporation.
Yeah, it's all about real estate, kids. And he at one point says, "I got my start in the piano or selling pianos," and I just whispered to myself, "Who gives a fuck?"
You say you whispered it to yourself, but I'm pretty sure I heard you say that.
I didn't.
We had Sam in betwixt us.
And I didn't give a fuck who heard it because I mean it was a movie that I read Sam's review because I was actually very excited for you to come out with that thing. I think you spoke for all of us, but did
I speak true?
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Sam either loved or hated a movie when you click on the see more and it opens a whole new tab because Facebook has to load that shit. But no. What was I gonna say about that you were thinking about walking out? There was a moment where, like, early on, where I was like, I don't think I can sit here for this movie. Like, I gotta get up fucking early as shit the next morning. Like, I was hoping at least this would be fun. And there was a moment, like, I slept through a couple movies we've talked about, but there's only one movie I ever walked out, and that was with our friend Corey and Ethan. We went to go see Insidious 2 at like 8 o'clock on opening night, which was a mistake on our part, and it was like Lord of the Flies in there. It was awful. Like, we had to leave. It was people were going, shouting and laser pointing, and it was like, and all that shit drives me insane in a movie theater. Like, talking at all normally drives me insane in a theater, let alone selfies being taken, all that kind of shit. So I walked out of there. But this movie, I remember thinking, like, I bet if I turned to the guys right now and said, "Do you want to just fucking go eat McDonald's?" You could just go eat McDonald's. Because it was rough, man. I mean, it really was. Although Chris and I we were leaving because we carpool. We're like, "Do you want to go get McDonald's?" And we did afterwards.
I got it the next day.
Yeah.
It was... Like, I on this show am usually like the voice of like, well, it was still fun, guys, and it was just awful. There was a point about what was it? Was it like 20 minutes into the movie?
It was not long.
Yeah, I looked. I just happened. I think I have a smartwatch, and so occasionally I get buzzes of like notifications on my phone, and I looked down to see what it was, and I just happened to check the time, and I went, oh God. And it was loud enough that Sam heard me, and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's only been 20 minutes." And he was like, "Oh."
Well, I remember before, like, the big, they always say, page 25 or the 25th minute is when they really should kick in the gear, what's going on. Before that happens, Sam just goes, not to anybody, to himself, he goes, "This movie's fucking terrible."
Yeah. And it was about that time that I said that, realized, I was like, I think it is terrible.
Well, the thing,
guys, this movie might be terrible.
Yeah, and like I had that kind of gut feeling right at the beginning, kind of, and I was like, oh, maybe. But my biggest problem is that there's a lot, but it started to feel like a made-for-TV movie with the acting, like really, really
The editing too,
unbelievable.
Some of the editing was
cheese.
just like fucking.
Yeah,
There were a couple times where I thought it was cutting to commercial.
yeah. That's good. But like, it was. I mean, just cheese ball. Like, and they had a pretty solid cast. Like,
It's a murderous row of a cast.
yeah. And look, here's the thing. Keaton is not very good in this, and it fucking pains me to say that because he's my father. And but when Keaton goes to be Sinister Keaton in Act 3 was the most interesting I found him. And there were moments I thought that, I'll give credit where credit's due. I thought there were some moments with Sinister Keaton where he was pretty good. But the problem is, I thought that most of the movie was going to be Sinister Keaton. Like, it kind of starts off, but it really is literally how to create a business. And it moves at a snail's pace. It really moves at a snail's pace.
It was kind of like watching one of those like welcome to working at McDonald's like videos. Like, here's how the company was founded.
Yeah,
and like you're forced to watch that for the first like 2 hours that you're working there, and you're just like, man, I really don't want to work at this place.
And
yeah,
no, go ahead.
Well, there's like moments in the movie where they're like, there's supposed to be these big. They're built up to be these big payoff moments.
Sure. Like when the card says the founder.
Or like when like Mac and Dick figure out how to like properly like assembly line.
Mm-hmm. That was when I knew we were in trouble. I think that's when we all kind of realized,
because
like,
it's supposed to be this big like we
and
cracked it. We figured out fast food.
The fact that I'm pretty sure nobody in the theater felt Dick during that movie, during that scene, they didn't feel anything. That was the when they're making the movie, they're like, this is when they're gonna know. Like, and look, there are elements of the story of the making of McDonald's that are interesting, like the fact that it is, the beginning of the fast food thing and revolutionary, and that's cool. Like, the pushing the envelope and changing the game thing. But I also realized watching this movie, this story isn't as interesting as it thinks it is. Yeah. Maybe if it was done as like a PBS documentary, but this kind of like cutthroat thing, like, it's not even that to like the last 20 or so minutes.
Right. I'm of the mind that you can write an interesting story or direct an interesting film about anybody's life or any major experience. I mean, we're talking about something probably the most ubiquitous restaurant with American culture.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do it. This is not it.
No, I mean, yeah, okay, that's fair. Like, it didn't do a good job of executing.
There's a moment where they were
been.
like, "Hey, look, guys, we can make milkshakes out of powdered milk."
Yeah,
awesome.
And
break out the bubbly.
Like, yeah, there was a couple moments where I did think like, oh yes, we live obviously in 2017. Like, we know, as they're talking about the early stages of McDonald's, that it's gonna become its own worst enemy with like the way it's done, the quality control, all that kind of stuff. Like, we've all had our fair share of it not right or whatever. But that part, there were moments of that. There were like tiny sparks of like, oh, that's interesting. But my biggest thing that really started to turn me off almost immediately was the acting choices and the performances. And like you said, like, Patrick Wilson shows up, not for very long, but I love Patrick Wilson.
Shows up just to have his wife stolen.
Yeah, basically, he's there for that. And also, like, Patrick
watches uncomfortably as Michael Keaton woos his wife.
Well, Patrick Wilson and Michael Keaton look like really older brothers or father and son, which was weird. Or maybe I was just losing my mind during it. But you can tell, and it bums me out because you can tell Keaton with this was going for Oscar round 2. Like, he wanted that Oscar. I remember before we went into it, Sam was like, this didn't get dick for Oscar nominations. Hope it's not a bad sign. And then I remember the lights were going down, and I heard you whisper, "Please be good."
And Jake was the only one that heard your plea.
Yeah, and you might have said it telepathically. It's like How I Met Your Mother. But yeah, man, it was a bummer,
For me, I think the case study on everything that was wrong with it is the B.J. Novak scene, where he explains that Ray Kroc should be in the real estate business, not the fast food business.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be like this turning point moment.
Uh-huh. No, I mean,
it's
like,
not a turning point.
I will
it's like
say,
the driest, most boring, like, it doesn't,
nobody, well, it's one of those things where nobody talks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, but granted, the whole movie, nobody
also,
talks
people
like
actually talk with emotions, not like they're just like cashing a paycheck or have their like cocks in a vice.
I will say that, like, not necessarily the performance of B.J. Novak, but when he shows up, moments after that when it starts to get the ball rolling and it becomes the sinister story that I thought it was going to be, I wouldn't say it didn't win me back, but the last however many minutes that was of the movie seemed a little bit quicker to get through than say the first. Because oh my god, the first act, and then when he's like, we're gonna bring on this person and we're gonna bring on this person, and usually you go into the montage.
You mean the hour-long montage of
where instead
starting a small business?
You see him bring on each person,
Every single person.
and then he'll be like, what's your name? And he's like, Bill Stevens. And he's like, you put pickles on burgers good. I'm going to remember that. And Bill Stevens became the CEO of McDonald's, or whatever his real name is. Like, it was so thrown in there, like, pointless. When it's like, and
I remember that scene where he's like, "Hey, good job." I was like, "Oh,
I'm going to remember that.
This is important. I'm supposed to remember this."
Yeah, I was reading about.
I'm supposed to care.
I was reading about Ray.
Look at that. He actually cares about his employees.
Yeah, because I was reading about Ray Kroc afterwards, and he did send people through, they call it McDonald's school or hamburger school or whatever.
Yeah, they still exist.
Yeah, and to keep so it wasn't like he. I mean, he did, and at the end of the day, basically steal the McDonald's name from the McDonald's brothers, which is insane. And I will say, I don't know, you guys may disagree. I'd be curious if you even have a quote-unquote favorite scene in this movie. But I will say, I think the best moment is after they do the handshake and they give him the $1.3 million check, the scene in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Where Ray Kroc basically tells him, I stole your fucking identity, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what I thought the movie was going to be more of. But instead, it's like the brothers kind of come off as just idiotic dickheads during, because they're just no, we're not doing this. No, we're not doing this. And Michael Keaton's going, no, let's do this. But then, also I thought it was going to be he was going to get lost in it. He created McDonald's, you know what I mean? And there's one or two moments where he does lie. And it's I created it, started this in 1954. And I thought it was going to be more of getting lost in his own celebrity.
Then you just see him slowly putting on the Ronald McDonald face paint.
Fuck yeah!
It's he's got it on and he rises out of the swamp like Apocalypse Now, and kills Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
shows
up. No, but also he owned the San Diego Padres for 10 years too. There's some other interesting things about Ray Kroc, and
Kroc shit.
Yeah, Kroc is shit. But I mean, it's one of those movies that's just gonna get, it'll just get buried into nothingness, and it's whatever.
So how long until I buy it on Vudu?
Yeah, that's the thing. I ain't touching this, and I love Keats, as Jack Nicholson refers to him.
Yeah, Keats. But I would say the bathroom scene is probably my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, that's Keaton finally seems to be he's playing something interesting, because he's doing weird stuff with the accent. Everyone's just all over the place. Oh, the scene of the golf course.
Oh yeah. Where he gets pissed off that one of the franchisees uses substandard,
shitty, they don't put lettuce on burgers,
Yeah, and Keaton's just running down the green trying to not drop his pants while he's doing it. It's just a weird character choice. Yeah. That was one of the first scenes where I was like, yeah, okay. This is not going to be good.
What was the one scene where he convinces the guy to become a franchisee? He it's the worst putt in the world.
Oh yeah, that's I laughed out loud because this guy's I don't remember the actual line. He was well, Kroc, I guess we're gonna, and he putts, and he doesn't even get halfway to the hole. It's just supposed that's the story of this movie. It doesn't even get close to the hole.
And then
it's bullshit.
And then Croc's that's close enough. Let's count it. Sign some paperwork.
Yeah, we're fucking bros.
What would you say? Okay, let's invert it.
Okay,
worst scene in the film.
The scene where he meets the wife for the first time and they have the extended piano duet. It served nothing.
The divorce scene. I want a divorce.
I thought that scene was funny as shit. I love that scene. We just I want a divorce, because I was good. You know what? I love Laura Dern. Love her for
miserable as hell. But the entire movie.
Yeah.
I liked that the line leading up to it was, "Could you please pass some salt?"
Oh, pass the salt, of course. The guy, Michael Keaton, cannot escape that, man. Almost 30 years later, and he's still passing salt during
That's
dinner.
why he wanted the divorce. He was like, fuck you. Stop making Batman 89 references.
Yeah. Supposedly, Ray Kroc had a daughter during all that, too. But, it's a biopic, of course. They're not going to throw everything in there. Yeah. But
Steve Jobs was married at the time where Steve Jobs takes place.
Dude, did you know that Michael Fassbender fucking hated everything about that movie.
Because he basically had to learn, like, pages.
Like, he fucking hated it. Like,
yeah.
he the rumor I heard is that he wanted his driver to break his arm, like slam his arm in the door so he didn't have to go to do the movie because he's like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Because he carries the movie, and it's a Sorkin film or a Sorkin script.
Yeah.
So it's
A
like
Sorkin joint.
Yeah.
It's
So-
funny because like he's an astounding performance, but like you don't see it at all in there.
Yeah, it's just chock full of like dialogue. And
Yeah,
he
but
would
yeah,
have
mentioning
to-
jobs. Yeah,
Yeah.
He said, "What was your inspiration at this on the thing?" And he was just like Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. He also like because Danny Boyle's original choice was Christian Bale, whose birthday is today, the day we're recording.
Oh,
Um,
let's talk about Christian Bale.
yeah, and he should have been Ray Kroc, and he would have been probably a better choice.
Yeah.
But he like called Christian Bale and was like, "Please come back, like please come back."
Wait, Danny Boyle called or
no,
Michael
Fassbender
Fassbender called back.
Yeah. As far as I know, Fassbender, like shooting schedule and script aside, got along with Danny Boyle.
Yeah, no, I heard that he had a bit of a beef with Sorkin, or he didn't like the script, you know, because that is a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Just a sheer rapid fire dialogue.
holy shit.
Yeah.
The Sorkininess.
And
of
you
it.
know, I guess he used that in the performance because he's a quick, angry, snappy. That is such a criminally underrated movie, man. It's out of control.
Watch it like almost as regularly as I watch Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that movie's so
Cry a lot less.
yeah. Oh
I
no,
was about
dude,
to ask.
dude, I fucking there's the scene in the last scene with the daughter.
Oh,
That shit will fucking wreck your ass, man.
it'll wreck my yes.
Dude, it'll fucking wreck you, man.
Yeah,
That's powerful stuff.
That
man.
wrecked him
with
man.
the music swelling and like
yeah.
the note and all that stuff. Oh yeah, I need the own jobs. I thought I did, but I guess I just
on
rented
Vudu?
it on Vudu. But
Oh,
that's
no.
so fucking good. Hey, let's talk about Christian Bale for a second. Why
What's
not?
your favorite Christian Bale film?
Good.
Newsies.
good choice.
I actually have not seen it.
I will say, let's take Batman out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do that. Even if it's not, let's just take it out of the equation.
Okay.
Although I don't know if a Batman movie would be my favorite because of him.
Yeah.
American Psycho, though, is my favorite
Yeah.
Christian Bale movie.
That's a damn good one.
That's what really kind of like got him on my radar. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously he had been around, he doing stuff before, but and then I read the book afterwards, and the book is, oh my god, the book is amazing. But he goes for broke in American Psycho.
Yeah.
I think he is really. I mean, he had some shit happen, that wasn't in the best light. Of course, the Terminator Salvation stuff. I always thought he wasn't. I don't know if he was the best choice for John Connor, and that was kind of like a streak where like,
Neither did he.
yeah.
He like distanced himself like some shit after that.
I still don't know if they've ever technically got John Connor right in a movie. You know what I mean? Like, my favorite little shot of John Connor.
Yeah, sure they did. It was in the first one where he's a fetus.
Oh, fetus. Well, is it?
No, there is a gentleman.
That's my
playing-
favorite shot of him.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shot of him because he doesn't say a word. He's
It's-
just this fucking stoic badass. But no. Chris, what is your favorite Christian Bale movie?
I'm probably gonna lean towards the one that's also my favorite Christopher Nolan film, The
Yeah.
Prestige.
Of course, yeah.
Which I, much like you and your American Psycho, I later read the book, and the book's quite good as well. But yeah, no,
That's
that's
different if I recall.
So is American Psycho.
yeah. There's a good chunk of differences, but technically takes place during the modern day. But yeah, it's a damn good performance of his, and especially since
He doesn't do very many even the movies
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like. He's good.
Yeah, but like, technically he's doing double duty on, playing two different characters in that. Not even technically, like legitimately it is.
Samuel?
Kryptonite. What is my favorite Christian Bale movie? Knight of Cups. No, it would probably be
Oh God, I never even saw that, but it just seemed too artsy.
The Equilibrium. Huh?
Oh, dude, that movie's. I like that movie.
It's,
Yeah.
no, it's a good movie.
That movie's
That's a good time.
Movie's fucking boss
It's
horse.
fun.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Gun sure.
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, the first time
what's
Christian Bale hears music in that, and he sees like art for the first time,
Yeah.
fucking great, dude.
Tay Diggs when he gets his like face cut off.
He's literally, yeah, dude. That movie got drowned because of fucking The Matrix, because
Yeah.
it had similar looks, but nothing close
Yeah.
to it.
In
terms
of
of
it was more
story.
fun.
Had
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the leathery trench coats.
Yeah.
And the
Cool gunfights.
similar visual style, similar fight choreography. So yeah, therefore it just got just buried as like just some cheap Matrix knockoff. And I was working at Blockbuster at the time. I was like, I'm gonna check this out. I get to see it for free.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. It's like you watch it and you're so glad. It's like a nice little gem. You're like, this movie fucking rules. It's not even like, it's funny. It sucks, but it's funny. No, like that scene where he clears out that hallway and he throws the 2 mega magazines down the hallway, and so he can he'll need them when he gets to that point. And just it's kind of like kick ass to them. I don't know, but
I need to rewatch that.
It's
I haven't
good.
seen it in like 10 years.
But Samuel, do you have one?
Not counting Batman. I really like Rescue Dawn.
Yeah.
Honest to Christ, it might
Newsies.
It might be Newsies. I mean, you watch the King of New York sequence or the Santa Fe sequence.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like early 20s Christian Bale. He is on point. He is on fire in that movie. And if you ever
He's on site.
Yeah.
Empire of the Sun, Christian Bale.
Where he's a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ben Stiller's in that movie.
Is he?
Yeah.
Shit. What else? I mean, example of a movie I didn't like at all, but he was very good was the American or what the fuck was that one he did with
The Machinist.
Oh, American Hustle?
American Hustle? Yeah,
Oh,
Machinist
yeah.
is great. American Hustle, he was really. He does a
great job in that one. Yeah.
And I feel like that was his first big movie post Batman, right? If I remember correctly.
yeah.
So he kind of just gained all that weight, had the hair and everything, and just went for it.
Yeah. Best scene is in the beginning of that movie. When
His-
Bradley Cooper messes up his hair.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, I might have to change everything. I mean, American Psycho still, because I think that's what really brought it up. But The Fighter, I mean, that's what he won his Oscar for, of course. But The
yeah.
Fighter, I mean, he is like, that's one of those, like next level performances. I mean, like that was one of those ones where it's like not even a question who gets the Oscar. He was astounding in that. Really, really good. And he's like another guy that obviously will do the transformations like crazy. Like The Machinist, he's 120 pounds. He wanted to go down to 100 pounds. He would eat an apple and like a bowl of rice a day. And they're like, we will not let you go to 100 pounds. And then like basically a calendar year later, he's 220 pounds of muscle for Batman Begins.
Yeah.
We obviously during the commentaries, we've all talked about our favorite Nolan era Batman films. Because I was Begins. Sam, I think, were you Begins or Dark Knight?
It's always a toss-up. As a story, it's Batman Begins, but as a film, it's probably the
it's one of those ones that you always do you talk about. Technically, Dark Knight is the best Nolan Batman movie and the best Batman movie ever made. Like no questions asked. But Batman Begins is the only movie ever made about Batman, and I've always liked that.
What I love about the Dark Knight is it's heat.
Oh, the Dark
that just happens to have Batman and the Joker.
The Dark Knight is still. I mean, I think a lot of it does that weird thing where it's going to be 10 years next year for that movie, which is fucking crazy. But it's one of those things where like that movie has gone up and down with people. Where they're like, when it first came out, they're like, the fucking best. Like should have been one Best Picture, and probably, but like, and then there's people who are like, no, it's not that. They had like that. Not that good. It's
only
whatever.
good because Heath Ledger
kind of
died.
the La La Land effect.
Yeah. The La La
It's like,
Land.
oh,
effect.
La La Land's overrated. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
man, I've seen a lot of fucking.
I'm just like, have you seen it? Second off, where's your soul?
Yeah. Where your soul at? It's still dancing. Did you motherfuckers see?
Nicolas Cage crash at an Alamo event.
My God,
No.
He did.
they did Cage the
Cage-a-thon.
the Cage-a-thon
Why weren't you there?
because it was in Texas, I think.
Same question.
Yeah, that's fair. And he fucking showed up, and he watched all 10 hours, and then did a Q&A and like read a poem before. But fucking amazing, man. They watched Joe, which again, if you guys haven't seen Joe, that's one of Nicolas Cage's best performances of all time, and that dude's won an Oscar. One of the ones they watched is one that I have not yet watched, Bringing Out the Dead, the Martin Scorsese film.
That's
Patricia Arquette. I really
the other final Laserdisc ever printed in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really want to get it, but like the cheapest that anyone will sell it for is like $200.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it tonight, but it's like fucking 12:30. But like I want to go home and just fucking watch that shit because like EMT, it looks just out of its mind crazy. And I love Patricia Arquette. One, because I recently watched Ed Wood for the first time. Holy shit. And two, I was talking to Sam. I had this. I woke up. My first thought was I have to watch True Romance, and I was like, Voodoo, trusty Voodoo. They didn't have it. I was like, all right, well, I got Amazon Prime. Nothing. You can't even like rent it on Amazon Prime. And then Netflix doesn't have it. And I was like, what the fuck? So I just went out and I was like, I should just own this because her character in True Romance, that whole movie is just one of the best. I've never met anyone who was like, nah, True Romance, okay.
Written by Tarantino.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Great movie. So I bought that and Frank Miller's Holy Terror. Those are my two purchases. I finally found a copy that wasn't super expensive on eBay. Because the art on that, I love it. Just ink blobs. It was his birthday recently, a couple days ago too.
Yeah.
Big 6-0.
Oh. I guess he was born, 57?
Mm-hmm.
60 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's technically younger than my father, but does not look younger than my father. Yeah.
He's looking better though.
He is.
Saw him in the flesh. We saw him in the flesh. He's looking better.
You actually got to talk to him.
I did. I did.
Did you get to thank him for Superman peen?
No, I didn't have enough time. I think I told the story,
There's not
but
enough words.
yeah, I think I told the story, but it was pretty great. It was one of those moments that Kevin Smith always talks about when you're firing your last synapses. You'll remember, and I just remember that little smile on Frank Miller's face when I told him my favorite Batman moment was in The Dark Knight Strikes Again, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you must be a Zorro fan." I was like, "Hey, shut the fuck up and don't assume anything about me."
No, slapped him and he had a heart attack.
Yeah, no, he like finished signing, and it was kind of like a conveyor belt. There was a lot of people there to meet him, and I was like, I like Zorro, but like, we get to see Batman be his hero for once. And he looked up at me, like he stopped writing, and he looked at me. He's like, "You're a very sharp reader," like said it through a smile, and I was like, and I just like fucking just went, oh, and the rest of the day was a blur, and I was like, holy shit. My two favorite con moments ever were that, and then Carlos Esquero drawing me a Judge Dredd, and just him being like, "Have a good day." I was like, "You too, Judge Dredd."
I'm trying to think what my favorite con moments are. I don't know if I can narrow it down.
For me, I can definitely guarantee it wasn't meeting Adam
Charlie,
West.
Charlie Nolan.
Yeah.
I met
Charles.
you,
Charles.
I met you right after that happened. Like,
Yeah.
I saw your face.
Yeah,
because
you met Charles.
You're a tall man, and so my dad and I were walking over because I wanted to see about Carl Urban, Ray Park, which is another great experience. Meeting all these people were great, but those two were just big time iconic. Frank will be number one forever and ever. But yeah, I was like, "Hey, Dad, it's Chris." And you just looked fucking lost. You were like, "Charles." I was like, "Hey, Chris," and he didn't respond. I was like, "Chris." He just kept looking.
Who am I?
Yeah. Although we did get to meet Carl Urban.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about that recently.
And Ron Perlman and Michael Rooker. Like
I didn't, unfortunately. Those
that
guys,
year was a good year for me.
Yeah.
On meeting
And Ray Park and David Prowse.
Yeah.
Because supposedly David Prowse isn't doing international cons anymore, and he's a UK guy.
Yeah.
So he's glad to shake his hand at least and say thank you. I had a whole thing I wanted to say to him, but I was just too fucking nervous with Darth Vader and Green Cross Code Man. But and Ray Park is like one of the nicest dudes ever.
He was so fun to talk to.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unfucking when he was making all those fucking noises when that kid brought up like the Darth Maul toy.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I've never seen this one." Yeah. And then he did like the pound with the kid. And he was like, "Yo." He did it with you with the Nintendo.
Yeah, with my power glove. He's like, "Ah!" Like I was crushing his hand.
Just insane, insanely fit man.
As like a 30, had I turned 31 by that time? I think I did. Yeah, as a 31-year-old man, like Ray Park transformed me into a child for a hot second. Made me forget that Adam West misspelled my name. and I was just so happy.
Spell your name.
Gave me a
Gave
new
you the
name.
wrong name.
Christened me Charles.
You're not strong enough,
Charles.
Charles.
Is that a GIF yet? 'Cause that movie's been out.
Oh, I hope it. Oh God, my phone's over there.
Don't worry, I'm already halfway.
Strong enough, Charles. God damn it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch Legion? Do you have any interest in Legion?
No. I'll probably see it eventually. Like on.
Fair enough. I had the exact same answer.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean,
Aubrey Plaza's in it, right? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
That's neato. Yeah.
It is not a GIF.
Oh.
Dogs are cool.
Dogs are cool.
Yeah.
Chickens are dumb.
Yeah. Well, dogs. Yeah.
I'll crush you like a bug.
There's really. No, I'm just not all in on the X-Men verse right now. Comic wise, movie, TV.
I mean,
wise.
Logan is
coming.
Is coming, and I'm excited for it, but I'm not because I've been duped by all this before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go see it.
Yeah.
Did we talk about The Last Jedi? Or did that happen in between podcasts?
It's there. Is it?
We talked about it last week at dinner before recording, but we didn't actually talk about it at the show.
Okay.
It's happening.
That
is the title.
Yeah. Jedi is also plural for Jedi.
Yeah.
So we don't,
So it doesn't necessarily mean that Luke Skywalker's guaranteed to die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or that he's the only.
Yeah.
There could be. It could refer to Luke and Snoke, and Kylo and Rey. Who fucking knows? And the Knights of Ren. We don't ever actually see the Knights of Ren apart from that flashback sequence. So, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of in this. Though I still need to see all the Oscar nominees. I try to see every single nominee for Best Picture every year, and so there's like 4 movies I need to see. And then
I'm probably gonna buy Hacksaw Ridge, so
yeah,
if you ever want to watch that,
maybe yeah.
Because they got nominated.
Did.
I'm happy that Melly Gibbs got the nom for Best Director, and I'm really happy Andrew Garfield because he was a fucking beast in that movie, man. Talk about carrying a movie.
Hell or High Water got nominated.
Yeah, Hell or High Water. I'm very
It's not gonna win anything.
no, and I'm actually maybe the thing I was most excited about was Jeff Bridges getting nominated for supporting actor, because I remember when that movie came out, I was like, give him that shit now. He's not going to win it, but that's okay. He got nominated. I'm glad he did, because he, one of my favorite single choices an actor's made all year was something he does in that movie, which I will not say because it's a big spoiler. But I might have said it when we talked.
You also
get
to see him walk around with like no shirt and like in a blanket around his like.
Yeah, that's right. He
Yeah.
sleeps outside the hotel or motel or whatever.
Yeah. What a fucking good movie that was.
It's great. It's I wish there was more movies like that. I wish there was because at the end of the day I would say 2016 wasn't my, it wasn't like the super wow year for movies for me. Mm-hmm. La La Land is, again, it's for some reason it's taking on this kind of like evil fucking thing. People are like, that's La La Land, like they see it and they're like but it's one of those movies like, yes, I love La La Land, but I think in years time, the movies I'm really gonna like fucking go back to, like the fucking well to drink from, maybe like Everybody Wants Some, Sing Street, kind of like I do with Perks of Being a Wallflower. Edge of 17, I'm looking forward when that's finally available to pick up on Vudu.
Yeah, like Steve Jobs was not my favorite movie of 2015.
Yeah,
but I can tell you it's probably the movie of 2015 I've watched the most.
Oh yeah, sure. There's plenty of, like Perks is when I was driving over, I was thinking, I was like, I don't even remember what my favorite movie was that year, but
yeah, I watched Perks last night.
Did you?
Yeah, I was just kind of like sitting around the apartment, like I had done a march because I feel like I do that every.
Yeah, that's going to be a weekly thing, I think.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like bushed because, and I was just like I hit the magic wheel that I have in my apartment. Yeah, and the jukebox randomly played The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
That's one I'll throw on. Just to have, I like to have something on when I'm falling asleep. I'll throw in Perks.
You know what movie will put you to sleep?
The Founder.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
I was so annoyed.
I wanted to sleep through that.
Yeah, I was so annoyed I couldn't get tired to fall asleep though.
Yeah. I don't know I mean.
It's just a miss.
Who do you think does the best? I would say John Carroll Lynch as Mac McDonald.
Oh really? I thought
the one that's not Nick Offerman.
I thought both of the McDonald's brothers were in my opinion, two of the worst. I thought Drew Carey's brother was horrendous. Sorry. I thought he was like fucking PBS acting, whatever, straight to DVD after school special. But then again, most of the people in that movie were I would say Sinister Keaton.
So like
15 minutes maybe. That's being generous.
Yeah.
It was weird seeing Nick Offerman without a mustache.
Yeah.
I guess.
Always is.
I love his tweets lately. You know, he's had some good stuff. But I don't know, Chris.
I guess I'm leaning more towards like
Linda Cardinale.
Cardinale. And yes, oddly enough, that's who I was thinking. I was like, I love Linda Cardinale, and I get really excited whenever I see her in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as soon as I figured out that it was her, because it wasn't right away, because I've never seen her with blonde hair. So like, I was like a baby without facial recognition. I was like, I know who this is, but it's Linda Cardinale. And so like, I might be like emotionally biased towards her performance, but I not wanting to say the exact same thing as Jake with Sinister Keaton. I'm throwing that in.
We get to see another Keats film coming out this year.
Oh,
Vulture.
yeah.
Hey, if he's sinister, he's going to be sinister in that.
Hopefully the entire time.
You know, I'm going to kill everyone.
No, he actually spends 75% of the movie as the plucky sidekick to
the Mad
Peter
Thinker.
Parker.
Yeah.
And then just turns evil.
Yeah. Do it for America.
Oh my god.
Where he's just like Superman poses outside the window. Do it for America.
Yeah, his accent's all over the place, man.
Yeah. It's like the director was like, could you be a Weasley businessman? And he was like, I got you covered.
Not only will I be Weasley,
I got you, fam.
I'll be all over the place.
Like a weasel.
I still love you, Dad, but you know, miss a performance. Here.
Was his performance in Need for Speed better?
I never saw it.
So yes.
Yeah.
Based on the data I have at hand, yes.
He's the bad guy, I think.
It made me want to watch Birdman
Did you see-
immediately.
Not
you
all
know.
of it. Oh yeah, to restore your faith. In
Because okay, here's something.
yeah.
Talk about we all saw Birdman together.
Yes,
Yes.
we did.
We all saw The Founder together.
Yes, also true.
These
We
are facts.
both left. We left both of those movies with the exact same mind of like we were all on the same track. Like we both left Birdman going like that was one of the best movie experiences ever.
Yeah.
We were just like
Immediately
big
number one,
smiles on
fuck
our
yeah,
faces.
fuck
Top
yeah,
of the
fuck yeah.
Keats.
Yeah, top of the
Unreal.
And then coming out of this one, it was like
We were
the
like,
exact
what the
opposite.
fuck?
Yeah.
Do that thing where like you stand outside and we just keep like waddling back and forth. Like, yep.
Almost just sad. Not even almost, like just straight up just sad.
Yeah.
Like almost unable to articulate how sad we are, but like just kind of all mutually sitting there like, yeah, we all feel the same.
Like when he's driving cross country to San Bernardino to see the first McDonald's, I was like, well, the cinematography here is pretty cool. You know, maybe it was just a shaky opening that it was kind of a bit of a misfire where he's like, hey, here's my sales pitch. Maybe he's going to get inspired his character does when he sees McDonald's, and that'll be the big takeoff moment. But it's not.
It just never takes off, man.
And like the critics,
People
fuck
like
the
it.
critics, they can kiss my old ass. Yo, I don't play the hit and they don't play my shit, so.
If you don't like my lyrics, you can press fast forward.
You got it.
I got you.
I saw Jay-Z live once at RFK. It was the first rap concert I ever went to. Maybe. I've seen Childish Gambino.
Oh yeah, but boo.
Yeah. Did you get Iron Maiden tickets?
Not yet. I need to make sure. I'm still honestly thinking like if I want to fucking go full baloney and get like seats because it's Maiden. I'm thinking though. I know one of my other buddies at work wants to go too. I'm assuming you two gentlemen are interested in seeing, one of the greatest
Metal bands.
fucking bands.
I want to see them.
Yeah.
They start with Aces High. That'd be so. They won't. But like, if they start with Aces High, that'd be the fucking shit. Steve Harris galloping, fucking shooting the crowd with his finger picking, fucking galloping bass. That guy's like, if he's not the most important person in metal alive right now, he's like top 2. Cause that dude like is done. He's like has his hands in every Iron Maiden song. He's pretty big. He's big time, man. Yeah. He's instrumental to their sound, their look, their vibe, and he still looks cool. Looks so fucking cool. But yeah, that'll be cool. I mean, that's a ways down the road. That's like June 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
But Ghost is opening too, which is fucking cool because I've never seen Ghost live. That's all I gotta say about that.
You getting anything into anything, Chris?
Well, last night was the 2017 Royal Rumble for the World Wrestling Entertainment Company. I don't know how you would, for WWE. And that was buckets of fun. The Royal Rumble, of course. The Royal Rumble, of course, one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time because the Royal Rumble match is one of my favorite matches of all time. And for those of you that don't know, that aren't into wrestling, the Royal Rumble is a 30-man elimination match where the last man standing gets to main event WrestleMania. And what they do is to make it real super interesting is they spread it across about an hour. Every match starts with 2 men in the ring. Every 2 minutes, another man is entered into the ring to compete. Like I said, it's elimination style, so what you got to do is toss the man over the top rope, both feet hit the floor, and he is eliminated, sent back to the locker room, and you just got to do that 29 times, and you're good. And it's always full of fun little surprises. The WWE likes to throw in a lot of jokes into the WWE or into the Royal Rumble. One year I said off mic before we started recording, Mick Foley, a famous wrestler who has not very many, but several personas that he has done in the past. One year entered the Royal Rumble 3 times as Cactus Jack, Mankind, and Dude Love, his 3 main characters while working with the WWE or WCW. Things like that. This year, the jobber du jour, jobber being like kind of just like a wrestler that's thrown in there to get the shit kicked out of him. For the Royal Rumble was James Ellsworth, technically a local boy. I think he's from the Baltimore, maybe southern Pennsylvania area.
Local boy kicked me in the butt last week.
Yep. And that was fun seeing him get tossed around and whatnot. Jericho almost won it. For anyone that knows who Chris Jericho is, he is one of my favorite wrestlers. Entered in as number 2, made it. I think he was like one of the last 5 guys eliminated. So good on him. And that was really fun. John Cena won his 16th title, which means he is tied with Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, for most title reigns.
Woo!
That's all I got to say about that. It was a quick update.
Right on.
For you wrestling fans out there.
Did I do anything? I already talked.
March.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, everybody knows what that entails these days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really. We'll be back with interviews next week. I think we just kind of wanted to take a week to recover.
Yeah.
From
cool off
from the founder. The fucking founder.
Yeah, it's
This is how our 2017 movie experience starts.
Setting the bar low.
I suppose. Yeah. John Wick 2's coming.
Yeah.
So is Lego Batman.
I'm excited for those, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Double feature that shit.
Maybe.
Resident Evil came out. Josh seemed to really enjoy it.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm expecting to go in there and be like, hey, I enjoyed it too because I like the style.
I've seen them.
Schlock.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be just as Paul W.S. Anderson-y as the rest of them, and that'll make me happy.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, anyway, it's been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
Fried chicken.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.